Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today it is the 17th of April and we're going to react to another Easter video. So, you know, in the last Easter video, I'm not sure if you remember that we reacted to the Bunny Man, but at the same time reacted to other videos at the same time. Well, we're just going to react to the Bunny Rabbit movie. I don't know what that means. But let's watch it because I don't know what else to react to. Yeah.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is a great disturbance in the Force.
I have felt it.
We have a new enemy, the young boy.
How is that possible?
Search your feelings, Lord Vader. You will know it to be true. He could destroy us.
He's just a boy.
Yes, the Force is strong with him. Can it be done?
He will join us or die, master.
Hello? Who is it? Who? Darth Vader? I wouldn't say you're made up, but why do you want to talk to me? Hang on. I am a big fan of Star Wars and also other sci-fi films, but seriously, why do you think I'm gonna take over the world? I'm not doing anything wrong, am I? Am I? Well, I'm so sorry if I am. I said I'm so sorry. Okay. I will try not to take over the world. I'll try not to take over the world. Well, that was a little bit climactic. So the real Craig was in this room, and he said that he won't take over the world, so I'll come in and I'll probably be less dangerous, because obviously the real Craig is in trouble. Anyway, we are going to react to the history, or of Puppet Yoda. So, before we go into the world of Star Wars, talking about the world of Star Wars and the I don't know what you want to call this. Apparently, when the real Craig, or whatever you want to call him, Craig, calling the real Craig and calling this Craig, I don't know. He said, I don't want to take over the world. I just want to do what I want to do for the other Craigs on this channel. Yeah. And he's in trouble apparently. And by Darth Vader or something. But I don't think that's real. But let's see. Okay, let's see at the end of the video or not. But between you and me, I think that was a little bit exciting to say the least. To hear that story. if it's real or not. But anyway, he was a little bit. It was not that good for him because he didn't sound very good. Craig. Anyway, so let's react to this video, and this is from this year, so don't worry, it's not an up-to-date video. So anyway, today is the 4th of May, and do you know what that means? May the 4th be with you, and that also means, in other words, it's Star Wars Day, so we are going to react to another Star Wars video, or the first ever Star Wars video reaction video on this channel. So it's not really another one, it's going to be the first one. Okay? So let's get into it.
A long time ago, Star Wars fans found nothing to do on a Friday night, but that would all change. 16 years had passed since the last Star Wars flick. Fans were thrilled with a brand new chapter in the saga, being a franchise that was only just 20 plus years in age. That first generation, ensuring that they kept their packaging mint in condition and unspoilt. Later in life would find themselves greatly rewarded, placing a heavy price tag on their old tat. So this time you can ensure that nobody was gonna miss out.
Up to 1,000 Star Trekkers clamoured to buy. There were just 9 Queen Armadillos to be had for $99 a piece.
What did you buy?
I bought a bunch of the small action figures.
How many?
30.
I have this nightmare of looking at myself 3 weeks from now coming out of the worst movie I've ever seen, knowing that I've just blown a fortune on all of this stuff.
Kind of sound. Wonder how much it...
Snapping up Star Wars merchandise that in time will be valuable collector's items. Sold for $16.95, immediately revalued at $25. 10 years on, up to $100 could be fetched.
Sometimes I've thought, oh, why is he spending more money on this stuff, you know, but hey, why not? You know, maybe it'll be worth something really, really important someday.
227, I believe. Yeah. Was it worth it? I guess so. If it's worth money, I guess it's worth it, yeah.
But alas, rising from the bargain bin buckets of the toy store would come one piece of Phantom Menace merchandise that would be more sought after than any other of the figures. For this is the story of Puppet Yoda.
Remember, like and subscribe.
I already did subscribe, so don't say that I have to subscribe, because I already did. So you don't have to say it. But you can probably let the other people know in the world to subscribe to your channel, but not me, because I already subscribed to your channel. By the way, guys, if you want to subscribe to the channel, all you have to do is press that red button down there. And if you can't see that, well, what you can do is at the end of the video, with the end credits or whatever, you will see a circle in the middle, and that's not only my profile picture, but when you click on it and you go across, you'll probably see a subscribe button. But please press that if you want to, if that's easier for you. Anyway, let's begin with the Puppet Yoda business.
The company responsible for making Puppet Yoda was called Applause, which during the 90s they made dozens and dozens of licensed puppets. Some look okay, others look pretty good, And then there are those few where, well, have you seen the Notre Dame set? More specifically, the gargoyles. Yikes, I thought they were bad enough in the movie. Anyhow, most Applaw puppets come with 2 tags. One that says, I'm a puppet, with their website info down below, although the site is no longer up, as Applause went defunct in 2004, and then the other tag is just the brand that the puppet is associated with a lot of comprehensible info on the back. Moving over to the sculpt, I would say it's a pretty fair rendition of Yoda. Even though this puppet was made to coincide with episode 1, I would say this Yoda resembles more from the original trilogy's Yoda, rather than the design we saw in episode 1. Something to note is that this puppet toy only has 3 toes, just like the original trilogy's Yoda, where in The Phantom Menace he has 4 toes. I'm sure that nerdy fact will help you in a pub quiz someday. Now this Yoda isn't very big. At least compared to the one that was seen in the movies. I imagine this was a deliberate choice, as him being smaller means that he's lighter, thus easier to handle and carry around if you're a small child.
Judge me by my size, do you?
The only detractor is that he's got a pretty fat neck, making him like the green alien version of Peter Griffin, but probably the reason he's got such a chunky neck was to likely make it more easier and comfortable to access his head to puppeteer the mouth. That and perhaps the shape made it more easier to mass produce the product during that of the moulding stage. I mean, I will give them a lot of credit, we've actually got a whole puppet body here. It's not like City where he's got to hide behind a stage. The only thing I could think that they could possibly add was maybe a bit of a sculpt and paint work for the hair. But if you're a customizer and willing to spoil your Yoda, I'm sure that would be quite a straightforward custom to do. Now let's talk about the main part of a puppet, which is puppeteering.
Not only you look like Peter Griffin from Family Guy, but when you do that face that you did, you also look like Les Dawson, and you don't want that, do you? Because he's also a miserable guy, like Yoda. Les Dawson, I am. Don't look like him. I don't know.
There are 3 main holes you can insert your hand and fingers in. Wait. That of course is being accessed with the head to the mouth.
Okay, that looks a little bit inappropriate. Why not we just... Actually, it doesn't really. Maybe I'm just saying things. I'll shut up. I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna leave in a minute. Why don't we just carry on and not really say anything inappropriate? Because I think Darth Vader might kill me now. But you never know, probably he just kills the real Craig, but you never know either. Maybe we'll just be quiet. Or not be quiet, just say things that isn't gonna lead us into, or whatever.
Which, given how small the mouth is, you only really need one of your fingers to manipulate. And then there are 2 little holes which are access to the hands. You can quite easily puppeteer this Yoda with only one hand, although it's a little hard to demonstrate while you're behind the camera, but if you use both of your hands you can grasp far more articulation with the puppet. Since the sculpting for Yoda is such a distinctive shape, and it's only made out of a thin latex, it's so easy for the shape of Yoda to be so deflated and deformed. But of course, on the plus side, it gives him far more meme faces. Yeah, I'll get into that one in just a second. Now Yoda didn't come alone. Oh no, he was released alongside another Star Wars character, where you either hate him or, Jar Jar Binks. He's actually a pretty nice sculpt for the character. Unlike Yoda, where they had to compensate the neck so he looks a little bit uncanny when compared to his movie's counterpart. Jar Jar, from the beginning being a slim alien, were able to pretty faithfully do a good sculpt. His ears are sculpted to be part of the big shape of the puppet, but again that's probably was done deliberately to make it more easier to mass produce. And like I said earlier, with Jar Jar having a slim build, it makes it much more straightforward to simply slip your hand in and to control the mouth. And it was ingenious for allowing you access to his 2 eyeballs, as it gives you far more to express with the character. The design for Jar Jar easily allows him for having a better build for being a puppet, at least in terms of a straightforward traditional puppet that doesn't deform or leave meme faces. I would say Jar Jar is the superior one if you want a traditional puppet. God, I wouldn't be thinking that I'd say that over Yoda, but hey, here we are. On the secondary market, the price for both puppets would range from Jar Jar being about £20 to Yoda being about 50 quid. But during the 2010s, that would all change. More precisely, in 2015, YouTube content creator and comedian JonTron did a YouTube series called Starcade, where he would review various Star Wars games over the years. The titular applause Puppet Yoda made an appearance, utilising his flexible latex material to the full comedy advantage. Ooh. Given the unconventional depiction of Yoda in this video, and JonTron's already faithful following, it got a lot of people wanting to pick up their own Puppet Yoda. There were plentiful amounts of videos of Yoda doing daft and silly things long before JonTron did so, but it was all because of Puppet Yoda making a cameo in his video that it suddenly piqued a sale for these puppets, for people to make their own dank, weird Puppet Yoda memes. The 2010s have certainly been a renaissance for the online sensation of weird and wacky puppets. Although, since these puppets were only produced for the year of 1999, and so many people wanted them, there was a limited supply on the secondary market, with prices very quickly rising, where at that peak they were actually being sold for £600. The price range has calmed down, but only slightly, now being sold for about either $200 or $300. I suppose another reason as to why these Yodas were being so highly sought after, as in terms of merchandise of toy Puppet Yodas, there's not really a whole lot of them on the market, with the only other Puppet Yoda being released was a small thick rubber Yoda produced at the same time of The Empire Strikes Back. But really, in comparison, it's just a hollow rubber shell. You can only really move his head up and down and that's about it. The Phantom Menace Yoda, you can actually move his mouth like an actual puppet, articulate his head if you really wanted to, and even move his little limbs.
What did you do to Bob Ross? Oh! Tree! Happily oh!
In other words, it's the closest puppet to resemble the one that was seen in the movie that you can actually articulate quite substantially. So, would I recommend these products to the average collector? It's gonna have to be a very hard no. Both puppets are made out of a thin rubber latex, the same kind you would see for a Halloween mask. This does allow for rather flexible articulation, but in terms of their longevity, after 20 plus years, they are starting to decay. It appears that heavy usage on these puppets as of late leads to severe deterioration, and unfortunately, given the ludicrous things that people have been doing online with their own Puppet Yodas, they've learnt about the puppet's steady decay the hard way. YouTube channels such as Puppet Yoda have currently ceased making Yoda videos just because of how far gone their puppet currently is. Other YouTube channels that evolve around Puppet Yoda, like Pimp Master Broda, has had to at least once replace his Yoda, and now has had to repair his new one, just because he uses his puppet on a weekly basis, and when you watch his content, he's not really that heavy-handed with the puppet. In other words, this puppet is very delicate, and even if you do leave them well enough alone, they will still naturally decay away. I've hardly touched my puppets since I bought them, but my Jar Jar's left hand is already rotting. I'm a little bit astonished on how good in condition my Yoda is. If they were made out of a thick rubber, like my Godzilla puppet which was produced roughly about the same time, they would probably stand a better chance. As 20 plus years on, he's still rather in good nick. Given that now we've got an abundance of Star Wars homemakers of making reproductions of rare vintage Star Wars action figures, perhaps there might be some arts and craft guru out there that could take on the task of making reproductions Puppet Yodas. Although, given that these are basically homemade products, not factory produced ones, the price might end up being so expensive that you might as well buy one of the official ones. But hey, it may be a more consistent way to make them more regularly available. Maybe Hasbro could pick up the slack. Given how successful the merchandising has been for Baby Yoda, it could very well inspire them to do more product Yodas down the road, and maybe revisit the puppet idea. But as all things, nothing truly lasts forever, so you might as well appreciate the heck out of your Puppet Yoda. In other words, make some memes. Oh, sorry. Anyway, that's all for now, folks. I'll see you next time.
Memes? Memes, I meant good memes. I can't hear anything in them because I got a feeling in the Force. I haven't got the Force. I mean, I have got the Force. Well, you can say either that's good or bad, Darth, because yeah. But anyway, back to memes. Be careful, mate. If you say something, not only you'll be in trouble, but I'll be in trouble. So maybe I'm just going, and I'm going to tell the Will Craig to come back, because not only he will know everything about it, but also I won't get killed. Goodbye. Craig, come back.
Memes. 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 Memes.
Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
Commence primary ignition.